Hello everyone, welcome to Coder and Boots. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the topic how to push an image to DockerHub. Okay, so this is very important because DockerHub is a very popular repository or Docker registry available in the market. So DockerHub is provided by Docker Inc. Or we can say it's available in the website docker.com. Okay, so and it is very popular because it was there in the industry for a long time. So let's see how we can push it. And this is the place, the Docker Hub is the registry where you find a lot of publicly available images, which is like the base. Most of the base images that we use in our applications are hosted in Docker Hub. Okay, so these are the steps that is involved in pushing the image to Docker Hub. First, we need to create an account in Docker Hub. Okay, so we need to create an account in docker.com, and Docker Hub is one of the features provided by the docker.com. Okay, so once we sign up and create an account, then there is an option to create a repository. So create the repository. The next is we need to generate a credential. Okay, so the credential is basically a token. So it is for logging into the web UI of docker.com. You will have a sign-in information that will be mostly your email address or maybe a single sign-ons like using Microsoft or Google accounts. But for the Docker to interact with this Docker Hub or the registry, it needs a token. So we need to generate a token there. Then next is the token that we generated over there. We need to configure it in our Docker server. Okay, so that means we need to link it, right? So we need to do Docker login to this remote registry. Okay, so once we do that Docker login, then what will happen? Then the communication to the remote server from our Docker, local Docker, will get established, right? So then if you do the push, it will get pushed to the remote registry. Next, we need an image to push, right? So either you can use an existing image or you can create a new image, so let's say if you are using an existing image, you may have to re-tag it with a name that is matching with the repository that you created. Okay, after that you can push the image. So the steps are very simple. I'll explain it in few minutes. Let's get into the practicals. So first part, let's instead of getting into the command line, let's go to docker.com. Okay, so if you just type docker.com, so or you can specify hub.docker.com. okay, hub.docker.com. so this will open up a page, and in this the hub.docker.com, right now I have created an account, so that's why I am able to you can see I'm already signed in. But if you're not, then it will give a sign up option, so you need to sign up and create an account. Okay, so once you create an account, in this page on the left hand side you will see create a repository. Okay, so and below that you will see a lot of publicly available images. You can see like TensorFlow, okay, 50 million plus downloads, right? Then PyTorch, 10 million plus downloads. That means almost everyone are using the images from this repository. Okay, the publicly available images from this repository. So click on create repository. Okay, so I'm going to create so the namespace is, so when you create the account, when you sign up for the account, then you will have to provide a namespace that's a unique name. Okay, so you specify the namespace, then you have to specify or the repository name. So I'm going to create Coders API. Okay, so that's my repository name, and you can specify whether description you can give, then you can specify whether it is public or private. Private means it is going to be visible to us. Public means it is available in the search Docker Hub. That means it is a public image. Anyone can access this image. Okay, so let's say I'm searching for Python. Okay, so if you see, you can see the Python related images available over here. Okay, so this is the official Python repository, and you see there are a lot of tags. Okay, so images available from Python. Similarly, if I go search for Java, you will get Java related, okay, so images. Or if I search for Kafka, you can see Kafka related images. Okay, so if we create something our own, then it will be searchable in this list. Okay, so I'm going to create a repository with the name Coders API. Maybe a description optional you can give, and I'm going to create a public repository. Okay, So now I am creating a public repository, and while creating the repository, there was a note over there how we can tag our existing image. Okay, in according to so what we see over here. Okay, so now what we'll do, we have our repository created. So coder input is the namespace and coders API is the repository name. So now, but we don't have an image over here, so we need to push an image to this repository. Okay, so let's do that right now. So what we'll do is, we have our Linux machine and I have Docker in this machine. So here I have a simple code, okay, simple program, and I have a Docker file as well. Docker file. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a Docker image out of it. Docker build. Okay, so before creating the Docker image, we need to create the credential, right? So for that, we need to go to the account settings. Okay, so click on the account, and on the account settings, click there. Okay, so you will see the account details over there, and you will see an option like personal access token. So click on personal access token. So I have already some credential generated, but this credential, whatever gets generated, or the token that gets generated, right, it will be viewable only one time. So when you create it, always make sure you save it somewhere, because otherwise after the creation you will not be able to read it. So I'm going to generate a new token here. Generate new token. So I'm going to create something with DockerHub full access 01. And the permission we have to give, so as we are going to write or push an image, right, we need minimum write permission. So we can give read write or read write delete depending upon what you need. Okay, so I'm going to create a token which has read and write permission. I'm going to generate. Now you see it's giving me the instruction. Okay, it created the token, it's giving me the instruction. This token is sensitive, so it's a very sensitive information, so I'll be deleting this token after this video. So this is what we use for login. Okay, this command is, first we need to copy docker login -u coder boot. Okay, that's our username. So let's do that here, docker login -u coder boot. Now it is asking for password, so the password, we will copy this token and paste it. Okay, now it is okay, it is logged in. Now you see your password will be stored unencrypted in this this file. Okay, I am logged in as root user, right? So under the logged in user, it has a docker config JSON. Okay, so docker config JSON, under this, I mean, it is storing the credential. So there is a way to configure this repository globally for this Docker as well. So this config JSON, you can specify or configure it at the Docker at the server level. Okay, if you specify it at the server level, what will happen, it will be accessible for everyone using, or this repository will be logged in, okay, for everyone accessing this Docker server. Okay, I'll be explaining that in a different video. Now we have our Docker, the remote repository or the Docker Hub logged in. Now what we need is, we need to push our image, right? So before that, we need an image. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create an image over here. So I have a Docker file over here. So using the Docker file, docker build -t, I'm going to use I'm going to follow the same, the namespace /repository, right? That is what I'm going to follow here. So you can create image in this way, so that you don't have to retag it for pushing the image to the target repository. Because if you build in this way, what will happen is, it will create an image with this name and with this tag locally in this server, and when we push, it gets pushed to the target repository. So I'm sorry, I have not specified where the Docker file is present, right? So that's why I have to specify dot. Okay, docker build the tag. Okay, then where the Docker file is specified, that's why dot. So now it is okay, it's building the image, it finished the build. Now we have Docker images. Let's see it. We have an image, coder and boot /coders API v1, right? So it's pushed, it's created. Now let's create Docker push and this image. Okay, v1 docker push the namespace /repository v1. Okay, now you see it is going to docker io docker coder and boot coders API. It is pushing. Okay, it's pushing. It will take a few minutes, because it is going to push it to the remote repository, so it gets transferred over the internet. Right now if you see in the tags section of our repository, there is nothing, it's empty. Okay, now you see it is pushed. Let's refresh this page. You will see a tag over here like v1 pushed a few seconds ago. Okay, we just pushed this now. And for pulling this image, you can use docker pull coder and boot coders API v1 from anywhere in the internet. You will be able to pull this. Okay, the reason is now let's try that. Docker images, docker, I'm going to remove rm I, then okay, so I don't have any image over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this image from the internet. Okay, docker pull coder and boot / coders API v1. Now you see it pulled. Okay, so it didn't pull from internet because yeah, I think, I mean, it's a downloaded newer image for coder and boot. So the layers were already existing, that's why it showed, I mean, already exist, but it pulled the image from docker.io coder and boot coders API v1. Okay, that's the layers were already existing, that's why it showed, I mean, already exist. Okay, but if it is in a different or a new server, it will show you will see these layers also getting downloaded from here. Okay, now you see docker images, the coder and boot / coders API v1. Okay, you can pull it from anywhere. So I'll be deleting this image after this video, so you'll not find this video in, you'll not find this image in this repository, but you can create your own repository and you can push your own image over there. One more example I'll show you. Let's say you are building an image with a custom name. Okay, let's say app.py. I'm just making a change. Success code 200. Okay, I just made a small change to this program. Now let's build a new image. So docker build -t flask app, okay, colon v1 dot. Okay, so now this is a fresh build. Okay, because the program is different, I made a small change to the program and I am creating something with the name, the image I am creating something with the name flask app v1. Now I want to push it as v2, okay, to the same repository. So if you go back, you will see our namespace and the repository structure is coder and boot / coders API, right? So, but our image, if you see docker images, the image that we created is flask app and the tag is v1. Okay, flask app colon v1, that's the image reference, right? The image ID is different. Okay, our local repository name flask app, tag is v1. Now to create or do in this way, what we need is we need to create a new tag, okay, from this existing one. Okay, so the command is docker tag the name of the existing one and the name of the new one. Okay, so what we'll do is docker tag, then what is the existing one, flask app colon v1, and what is the new one, coder and boot / coders APIs colon v2. Okay, so I want to push it as the v2 version, right? So now you see docker images, you will see a v2 tag for this particular repository, coder and boot / coders API. And if you see this repository, this is a remote repository, right? Now let's push it, docker push colon v2. Okay, now you see it is pushing. Okay, the v2 version gets pushed. So so we have seen how to create image with the repository name same as what we see in the Docker registry or the target registry and push it to the Docker hub. Also how to push an existing image which is in a different name structure into the Docker hub. Okay, so previously it was only v1, right? Now let's see. Now you see v2 is also there, pushed a few seconds ago, okay, by coder and boots. Okay, so if you want to pull this, we can just pull it using docker pull boot coders API v2. Okay, so I hope this video is useful. So if you have any questions, feedbacks, comments, feel free to comment below this video, and also subscribe to this channel so that you will hear the latest updates from me. So I'll be creating a lot of videos related to technology. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day.